books of all men
the words that thou hearest
are rich with records of dreams and visions.
Those who have an eye,
Visions given to
let them see.
given to their saints and prophets.
Those who have an ear, let them hear.
Filled with symbology ancient as the soul of man, little of these visions can be understood by intellect alone. And St. John's Revelation is totally a book of visions.
For unto the least is given the power to know the presence of his God.
This interpretation of St. John's Revelation was made possible by a key furnished through the readings of the Christian Mystic Edgar Cayce. It was the result of 7 years' research by a dedicated group who found guidance in their own dreams, and by using the Cayce key as they studied the visions of John the Beloved. Exiled on Patmos, John had a vision while in trance and free from bodily influence. John says, "I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet. On turning, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in their midst one like a son of man, whose face shone like the sun, and in his right hand he held 7 stars. I heard him saying, 'Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen.' And have the key. The voice and the figure represent John's highest self, that never corrupted awareness in each of us, which can speak as the divine, the Christ within. In terms of modern psychology, this is the authority figure, the overself, or John's superconscious mind. In Cayce terms, this is the Christ within. John's overself explains the mystery of the 7 stars.
The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the golden candlesticks are the 7 churches.
Just as we think of churches as meeting places, so in the key supplied through Edgar Cayce, the 7 churches are the meeting places within John of body, mind, and soul. Modern science knows of these meeting places as glands or centers of the endocrine system, fountainheads of various kinds of energy. Science lists them beginning with the pituitary, the master gland, whose hormones regulate not only growth, but the hormone balance within the whole body. The pineal, just above and behind the pituitary, sits deep between the lobes of the brain. Its function science still doesn't half explain, but admits an association with memory. At the base of the neck is the thyroid, the pace setter, the center of the will. Then the thymus, the gland that carries our immunities and aids growth in childhood. The adrenals, that respond to the pituitary, both via the blood and through the nerves, to control bodily needs, particularly in fear or in anger. The cells of Leydig, only recently proven to exist and known to have something to do with imagination and creative thinking. The gonads, seat of sexual energy, and as Cayce said, also the generator of bodily energies. In John's vision, each of these centers is shown to possess a mind cell, symbolized by the star or angel of the church. To these angels, or mind cells, John's superconscious again directs him to write.
Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus, I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou
Ephesus, or the gonad center, is the first to be warned against misuse of its powers for self-indulgence. The energies must be used constructively, or impotence will result. Moving upwards from the gonads to each center in turn, the fault of each is listed. The cells of Leydig have often misled through their false urges and false imaginings. Pergamus, symbolizing the adrenals, is told that these energies have often been misapplied in anger and fear. Proper application of these forces can bring about regeneration of the body through regular acts of will. The thymus, at the level of the heart, is deceptive, the figure tells John. Rightly understood, bodily healing stems from this center. The thyroid is the seat of the will. Its fault lies in its weakness.
thou livest, and art dead. Hold fast, and I will not blot out thy name from the book of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear.
Only the pineal center, which records all experience, the seat of memory, is commended for its faithful, flawless service.
Thou hast kept my word.
The pituitary is the master gland, exercising control and balance over the other 6 centers. Its fault is indecision.
Thou art neither hot nor cold.
It is told to be decisive.
Buy of me gold, tried in the fire,
and to improve its sense of values.
to him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
After the churches, or glands, have been told wherein they lack perfection, a new phase in John's revelation begins. John is shown a throne, surrounded by 4 beasts, 7 lamps, and 24 elders wearing crowns. In the midst of them is a sea of glass. Emblematically, this is a glimpse into the control room, showing the relationship of the body-mind to the infinite. The sea of glass represents the state of John's emotions, which are under perfect control during his vision. The 4 beasts around the throne make up John's animal nature, which stems from the 4 lower centers.
The 7 lamps are a new symbol for the mind cells of the 7 endocrine centers, the same mind cells earlier symbolized as stars. The 24 elders, here shown surrendering their rulership to the divine within, are 12 pairs of cranial nerves which lead to the senses: hearing, sight, smell, touch and taste, and the motor nuclei. With the elements of John's body and mind now under control, a new inner pattern is shown to John from the throne, the pattern of the Christ within, the Lamb as it had been slain, to whom is given a little book, sealed with 7 seals. This lamb-like pattern, symbolizing patience through suffering, is acknowledged by the senses to be their rightful ruler. The book is the body, through which life's lessons are experienced. The 7 seals on the back of the book represent again the 7 endocrine centers. The Lamb is about to show John the power of the forces within each center. One by one, the seals are opened. The power of bodily forces moving through each of the 4 lower centers is symbolized by 4 horses that issue from the book: the white, black, the red, and the pale horse. The opening of the 3 higher centers is accompanied by earthquakes, bodily trembling, and mental blackout, as consciousness is now centered in the subconscious only, as in sleep. In chapter 7, control of John's consciousness is portrayed as 4 angels holding back the 4 winds of the earth. That is, the forces that move the 4 elements of the body: the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the soul forces. In actual body structure, the classifications would be the bones, muscles, and tendons of construction, the blood and all fluids that maintain life, the brain and spinal cord, and the central nervous system. With bodily forces immobilized, a minimum number of cells are consecrated, chosen for a special purpose, like Israel. The influence of these consecrated cells is powerful enough to spiritualize all other cells in time. Were these 144,000 cells throughout the body to be assembled, they wouldn't even cover a man's thumbnail. When the pituitary seal is opened by the Lamb being the symbol of the Christ within, the angel trumpeters sound. That is, all the glands are stimulated by the pituitary hormones entering the bloodstream. The opening of the id, or repressed area of the subconscious, follows, and John is freed of the odious hybrid forms of thought which have impeded his progress. John is now told to eat the little book, seen opened in the hand of a mighty angel. That is, to assimilate the lessons of what happens to the body when all the centers are opened. John, now alone and on his own, must carry out the example of the Lamb. In chapter 11, John is given a rod with which to measure the temple. That is, to take stock of his inner development. The outer court, or the body, can be left out, he's told. 2 olive trees and 2 candlesticks are to bear witness to John's self-examination. These are the subconscious and the superconscious, which are the vehicles for all healing and supply. Whenever the energies of these witnesses are dissipated through lust and debauchery, healing and supply are shut off for a time. John's account of his own experiences ends here. From chapter 12 on, the witness speaks. Of the universal soul of man.